my new lawnmower. Well, the topic of today's video is about the cost of maintaining a rental house. And what I'm going to be sharing with you is my experience with my own rental house, rental condo, because I've had two, and all the work I've done on rental houses year after year after year. There are some common trends that you can expect to have to pay out to get repaired. Oh, look at this. This is literally the sports car of lawnmowers. It does just about everything. It's got power forward, power reverse. You don't even have to switch levers. It's got this handle up here that matches your pace. The faster you walk, the faster it goes. Reverse, you just pull backwards and somehow it just knows how to go in reverse. Like this. And you're supposed to just be able to tip this thing straight up in the air. The gas won't spill out, the oil won't spill out. Let's see if it works. And that's how you can store it in your garage.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. What do you think, Polly, huh? Come over here and check this out. Nice new blade.
I'm going to put a link in the description of where you can get this Toro Recycler 22 Smart Stow lawnmower. You can get it on the Home Depot website, but the link will be in the description. I'm going to go put this thing through its paces. It's been almost 2 weeks since I've mowed at the rental house. And the rental house, even though it's got a small yard, there's a lot of obstacles, and there is a ton of back and forth, and maneuvering around the garden box and the front tree. I'm going to show you a few other things that are going to be the big money items that I'm going to eventually have to repair or replace on the rental house. I'm in the basement of the rental, and they've moved almost everything out. There's just a few things left. I don't know, that's a crazy suitcase for a bicycle. But what we're here to look at is the furnace. This is the first thing, or this is the main item that is going to cost you a lot of money to get fixed. When I was a superintendent building production homes, there's just new home construction. They're really nice houses, but they're produced in a large quantity. One of the main problems that I would have as a warranty call within the first year was their furnace isn't working, and it was throwing a trouble code. And one of the most common problems I experienced was that they were dirty, and this one is dirty. So what I need to do is vacuum and blow this entire thing out so that trouble codes don't get thrown. Now the trouble codes, what is a trouble code? Let's see here, does this have a lot of them? A lot of them have a code for, there's a blinking LED in here. Okay. So there's, geez. First thing is there's a safety switch right there. This thing won't turn on or energize until the panel is on. Right down there is the LED. And that LED is what is going, can you guys see that? This little red one right there? Of course you can't see that. There, you can see it now. That LED light will blink codes, just like your car, your check engine light. If you want to, read the codes on your check engine light, there's a lot of ways to read those, but it blinks. You turn the key on and off, on and off, on and off on different cars, and the check engine light will blink what the problem is. That LED will do the same thing. And there's a code on the inside of the panel here of how many blinks means certain things. The most common one is like a pressure. If your furnace filter is dirty, there's a sensor in there that measures the airflow through the furnace filter. I'll show you what the furnace filter is. This one here, let me get a light on that. So right in there is a furnace filter, and I just replaced that not too long ago, and I have a spare sitting right here. You can see there's dust everywhere in there. There's dust in there on the burners. Those things there, there's airflow sensors in there. You get too dusty, it won't fire. One time, the one time that I had to pay someone to fix a furnace, I was in the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, and in the middle of wintertime, and I got a call from my tenant that says the furnace is out and it's like 0 degrees. And I'm like, man, if I was there, I would go through the trouble codes and diagnose it. But I had to call a repairman, and he went there, called me on the phone. I made him read me the trouble codes, and it turned out to be a faulty board. That whole board there, some of these components are replaceable, but like all these things, this is a dang computer in here. And if this thing goes out, the repairman is not going to replace 1, 2, any of these things. They're going to replace the whole board. So right then and there, I had to authorize a $650 repair. Almost fell over. But I wasn't there to check the work. I wasn't there to shop around. I just had to say, okay, these tenants need heat. It's the middle of winter, and just got off the blackjack table. Next item, the roof. Heading on up the roof here. Activate my monkey. This is just low voltage. Alrighty. So this is the roof of the building. And, oh geez. See this here? That crack? I gotta seal that up. All these cracks. I keep a bucket up here just to maintain this dang parapet wall. Now, last year, I told the middle unit neighbor about this up here. And I think they did have something done to it. It was extremely spongy. And yeah, it looks like ooh, Jesus. Look at that. So, I'm not sure who did this repair, but it doesn't feel like the wood underneath this thing was removed and replaced. I mean, look at this. This one isn't underneath my unit, but God, look at that. Look at the water that's being held in there. So next time, God, the next major repair is gonna be this roof. This is gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars. Can I get down without killing myself? Dog wants to eat me. Need to bring a taller ladder next time. So the grass is coming in real nice, but I'm gonna give her a good mow. This thing's got a shock absorbing handle. This will be good for my shoulders. Last year, I hardly had any out-of-pocket maintenance costs. I rebuilt the garage door opener with a kit I got on Amazon. I bought a couple bags of mulch, and some furnace filters. That's it. So it was like $100. Now obviously that roof is pretty messed up, and that will lead to that whole building disintegrating. And I'm going to get my section all tidied up here this coming week. But that middle unit, man, theirs look bad. There's definitely a lot of roof decking that's going to have to be replaced when that roof is torn off. My experience maintaining rental properties, as you've seen throughout the last 2 years, and a lot of the content of my videos comes from these rental houses. So I come up with a list of very common items. So in no particular order, replacing microwaves. For some reason, microwaves, out of all the appliances in a kitchen, just seem to go out. I'm replacing them all the time. Another common task, not really a maintenance item, is that when someone decides they're going to rent their house out or their condo out, they want the ventilation fan in the bathroom directly tied into the light switch. So when the light switch goes on, the vent fan kicks on. That's just another very common thing that I do. This list is also good for people who are getting into the handyman business. You learn these basic tasks, you do well at maintaining apartments or rental properties. The next common thing is a frozen hose bib. So even though they are the anti-freeze kind, where you turn the knob and it's got a rod that closes it off inside the wall, it's very common for people who rent houses to forget, or probably forget, they wouldn't do it on purpose, to disconnect the hose when it comes wintertime. And when you have that hose still on there with a little squirt nozzle, there's no drain. You turn it off and everything is still filled with water. And if it gets cold enough, that the tube inside the hose bib will break and crack. It won't leak inside the house unless you open the hose. So as soon as you undo that valve and that gasket comes away, water fills up the tube and starts squirting into the house. That's another very common repair that I have to do. On there is marginal if you could charge the tenant something out of their security deposit. The next common one, this one is real common, is these wooden privacy fences. They have a lifespan. They're affordable to install, and they just have a lifespan. And when you hire a fencing contractor to put them in, they are going fast. They're shooting them in with nails. They're not staining them. They're going to be cedar, but in the hot sun and year after year after year, that cedar dries up and shrinks, and those nails, you can just pull them all out with your fingers. So repairing fences and repairing the gates that are on those fences. Another one that's somewhat common is replacing garage door openers. I repaired my garage door opener with a it was probably less than $25 rebuild kit that I got off of Amazon. But a lot of them just elect to purchase a whole new garage door opener. The rail, the belt, or the chain, or all of it. Just replace it all. Brand new one. So now, the most common call I get is they're both really simple. To reset a GFI outlet and to replace light bulbs. And it pisses off the property manager, because I tell him, I said, "Are you sure I'm not going down there to reset a GFI again? Are you?" No, they assured me that they checked. Go down there, sure enough, it's always a GFI outlet. Another one is the light bulbs on the exterior of a house. They say the lights don't work, and they've changed the light bulbs. I go down there and change the light bulb, and sure enough, it turns on. So hopefully that's some useful information of what you can expect in the future, common things that are going to come up. Also, like I said earlier, if you are in this business, those are real simple things to fix. And you could go to work just by having that skill set of that list that I just read to you. I read to you. It's over there on the whiteboard. Questions? Ask them below. Comments? If you don't like my lawnmower, you can leave those comments down there too.